So guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Ian West Network, and today I have the Soundcore C30i's. Now, I've been looking forward to these for quite some time. For people that are familiar with the channel, I actually have the V30i's, and this is what I've been using, but they're a little flip-floppity on the air. And because these clip on the air, I think it's going to be better for my everyday commute. So I definitely can't wait to get into it and see how good they work while on a scooter, running, jogging, and all that good stuff. Anyway, they have 10 hours of battery life, 30 inside the case, as you see right here. It has IPX4. So splash and water resistance, multi-point connection, so you can hook this up to, let's say, a Steam Deck and a Nintendo Switch, or a phone and a tablet. It hooks up to multiple devices, which makes it easier to switch between them without having multiple devices. Some people just want one and they're done, and they're not interested in having so many things to charge. There's nothing wrong with that. Open ear clip design. It does come with the actual soft rubbers right here that allow them to stay on your ear without slipping off for different size ears. And they have 12mm drivers. So with that being said, so far everything seems pretty good for this device. I would assume that it has fast charging like so many other Anker products. And even if it doesn't, that's fine. With that 10-hour battery life, that's just phenomenal, if we're being honest here. And I apologize, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Anyway, let's get right into the review, not waste any more time. I do have timestamps in the description for you guys that are interested. And I will post the timestamps as a, I guess I'll pin it to the comments so it's easier for you to find which section that you want. Let's not waste any time and get into this video. Alrighty, so as soon as you open up this box, this is everything that comes inside of it. Just going to put this to the side for right now, the Anker box onto the floor. You have your instructions right here. It says get to know your product. I will show this in a different section, the instructions itself, so don't worry for the people that might have lost this instructions. I got you. Not to mention, if you go into the actual Soundcore application yourself and sync this, which the app is 100% totally free, it should also give you options in order to see what the touch controls do. That's how most Soundcore Anker products are, and I'm pretty confident this probably does the same thing. But again, we'll go over that section in a little bit. Now, these are the buds themselves. Let me just put that to the side, and let's see what comes inside of this box right here. So underneath this, you have your USB-C cable that you see right here. You can use any USB-C cable if we're being completely honest here, especially the ones that come with your cell phones. They tend to be the more expensive braided wires, and they hold out a lot better. I will say just be careful about the type of charger you use. I have OnePlus chargers, Apple cables that are 67 watt, 65 watt. You know, just use something that's normal that you probably use for your phone. And you should be perfectly fine. Now right here it says they come with extra stable fit 2-pair ear grips. Now I won't try these until the next section when I actually put them in my ear to see which ones work better for me, but I'll just show it to you guys that are interested in it. So I guess you just pop this open right here, and it looks like you have medium tips right here and you have large tips. So for the person that I'm assuming has the bigger ear, you'll try the large, and the medium tips is for the person that has the smaller ear. It goes over the actual bud itself, as you can see, and it sits here so it holds it in place. So that is a pretty cool thing. Attention to detail. They really decided to make sure that they can get every customer a size that will work well for them. Now, more importantly, here's the earbuds themselves. I'm going to go ahead and tear this open. Here we are. Put this to the side. These are the buds. So this is the case right here. This is different. The bottom of the case actually has the button right here, which I'm assuming this doubles down. If you hold it, it'll actually put the headset in pairing mode. A lot of earbuds do that when it comes to Soundcore Anker. Unfortunately, there is no battery life right here, so you'll probably have to go into the actual application itself to see how charged the case is, or the buds. Or if you're using an Android or Apple device, you can go to the settings or the widgets, and it'll actually show you how charged your buds are in real time. You have USB-C on the back, so that's universal, pretty much even Apple at this point. And as soon as you pop them open, here are the buds. So you have the left side and you have the right side. Now, for you people that are wondering, you can use the left or the right by itself. If you choose to, you can also use it paired together. I'm going to, of course, pair them together. So let me just show you how these look. This is really cool looking. Now, just so you know, I'm actually seeing these in person for the first time along with you guys. My wife is calling. 1 second. Let me decline that. I'm doing a video right now. So yeah, this is the front. You could peel this off, of course. You peel this off, and this is the back. So the same way that you put them inside the case that you can see here, when you see this, see if that fits. No, it doesn't. Okay, there we go. So the fronts go right here, as you can see. Get used to it. The part that has the touch buttons is the back. So this part goes into the back of your ear. This is the touch sensor right here. Is it a button? No, the actual touch sensor. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, the buds look very nice in my opinion right here. Really cool looking bud. A little bigger than I thought it would be. Obviously, it's smaller than a lot of other earbuds. I am a little skeptical about how well they'll fit in the ear, but naturally, that's what this review is actually for. So I think they're pretty cool so far. I like the way they did this. A lot of the cases take that Galaxy Bud look. That seems to be the go-to for a lot of cases. It's ideal. It's small. It fits well. I like it. And like I said before, where it says front, let me peel that off so you guys can see it. So this part right here with the circular is the front. That goes into the case as is. The part that you see right here is the touch sensor. So this goes into the back. So when you open up your case, just place it back inside and the light will come on signifying that the contacts are there. Then you just close it and you're good to go. So pretty cool. I like it so far. Let's go over to the next section, which I want to show you guys how to sync them. So the syncing process for these devices tend to be extremely easy. Let me show you. Normally, when you open up the case, it'll automatically sync the left bud to the right bud and the right bud to the left. That's not the case for every headset, but because this is a Soundcore product, I have faith in them. So I just open it up. It's not synced currently to this actual tablet right here. I'm going to go ahead and go to the settings. Just follow what I'm doing. Bluetooth right here. And there we go. Popped up right there. Soundcore C30i. Very simple, very simplistic. All you have to do is tap it. If you're an Android user, you can say you have to press yes for pairing request. Some devices will ask you to, you know, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't want to make this longer than I need to be. Access to your call log or something like that. And a lot of times some headsets do have the ability to be able to read back the names that people are calling you. Teach their own. Anyway, the syncing process is super simplistic. That easy, follow these steps and you shouldn't have a problem whatsoever. For those wondering about how to use the multi-point pairing, I'm going to show you that right now. So first things first, I'm going to open up this case and I want to show you the settings. If you go to settings, it says that it's connected. So I'm going to close it to show you that it is connected to this device. It should just connect at any moment. There you go. And when you open it up, give it a couple seconds, it syncs almost right away spontaneously. I said spontaneously, wrong word. Anyway, we're going to go to the Anker application. You may wonder why we're doing that. I'll show you. I'm going to tap the device. It's connecting to it through the Anker application. And what do you see right here? I'm going to lift it up for you. Dual connection. In order to connect this to multiple devices seamlessly, you don't have to manually do anything. You don't have to disconnect it from the previous device. You can just go into the settings and it'll do it for you yourself. We're going to tap dual connection. On the bottom here, it says connect new device. Currently, it shows it's connected to the A9 plus 5G. Keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and tap connect new device. It says pairing. Your headphones are now in discoverable mode. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go over here. We have the Steam Deck right here. As you can see, it is not connected to anything except for these regular devices. And what popped up? Soundcore C30i. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit. That is how you do multi-point. So I don't know if other YouTubers, you know, detailed this part. Sometimes there's a way to do multi-point manually with other devices, but in this particular instance, you go to the actual free Soundcore application and you tap multi-point, and that is how you set it up moving forward. So I figured it would be a lot easier just to do this review with a screen recording rather than seeing the glare on the screen itself. Now, when you first purchase these headphones and you go into the settings, I do want you guys to do the firmware update immediately. You may ask why. Why is that important? I'll explain it to you. Right here where it says sound effects, that's not normally there. The only thing that it normally says up here is 3D sound. If you watch earlier in the video when I actually connected the dual connection and showed you guys, you notice that the menu actually changed. I did the software update. So we'll talk about that in a second when it comes to sound effects. More importantly, let's look at the other features. Prompt tone, it gives you a low battery prompt. Similar to AirPods and so many other devices, it'll let you know when the device is close to death, between 20 and 10%. I suggest keep that on, but to each their own. If you don't like those type of sounds, by all means turn it off. You have the option to do so. If we go over here when it says controls, what this does is it's very limited controls. What I mean by that is if you scroll down to the bottom, let's get that out of the way, whether you press the left ear or the right ear, the calls are not adjustable. So you have double tap to answer and you have hold the button in order to decline. So I would assume that it's also a double tap in order to hang up realistically, especially if it's the answer. There is no single tap for this headset, and it's probably so that you don't accidentally answer phone calls or change songs or do anything, because they're ear clips. Not everyone is going to be used to the touch settings on this device. It will take some time to get used to for the people that actually want to use the touch features. I'm not one that really does that personally. I just pull out my phone and change the volume or change the song manually. I'm fine with that. But for the person that doesn't want to do that, just pay close attention when I'm about to say next. So right here, if you look at the left, you can double tap, triple tap, and hold for 2 seconds. Now you may wonder, what are some of the customizable settings? They're all the same. When you tap it, it's going to say volume up and down. You have the option for next, previous, play, pause, and voice assistant, or nothing. You can make it where the touch controls do absolutely nothing. If you tap triple taps, same thing. If you do hold, same exact thing. And if you go over to the right, tap that, it's going to be the same exact features, same as that setting. So for the person out there that wanted more customizable options with this particular headset, so far it doesn't seem like it has it, but do understand that this is a brand new headset for the most part. It hadn't been out for too long. I'm sure reviewers like me have gotten a pair sent out to them in order to post on the channel. It's one of the reasons why I said I'm going to do an update video, because before I say something is good, or if I like it, I do like using it for a certain amount of time to suggest it. Now, if we go back, let's look at the last feature. As a matter of fact, there's a couple things. There's also a cog wheel up here for settings, but we'll take a look at that last. It's just sound effects. This wasn't here before. So you still have the option for 3D sound. Before it was a slider. Now it's just on the basic signature sound. That's what headsets normally are. Every Soundcore by Anker headset, for the most part, when you download the actual software, it normally starts itself automatically on the Soundcore signature setting. You have the option between bass, and you have the option for custom EQ, which you have to be logged in order to use, but you have the option to change it. Personally, because they're ear clips, I'm either going to try bass over time or just leave it to signature as is, and that's pretty much it. Now, the last thing, like I told you before, was the settings cogwheel. I don't think it's there anymore. Yeah, since I did the update, it's actually gone now. It looks like everything's on the main page. So pretty simple, pretty easy to use. It is optional to use this application. What I suggest you guys to do is to use this application, because it is very, very useful. I also want to say that I'm speaking to you guys in the C30Is. In order to see this menu, you have to be synced to the headset, and the case has to be open. The headset has to be either on your ears or inside the case sitting. I'm currently have them hooked onto my ears, using them as I speak to you, so you can get an idea of how the sound profile actually is. With that being said, so far, so good. So for you guys that are wondering right now, this is how it's going to sound when you're outside. Obviously, there's no wind blowing. I'm indoors right now. But Soundcore Anker, in my opinion, has pretty clear speakers. Now, I haven't heard the sample yet. I'll hear it after I actually do the edit and put it into the video. But I'm pretty confident that's going to sound pretty good. They haven't really failed after all these years. I actually started the EN West Network doing some Soundcore videos and other products. And it's always my go-to when it comes to headphones. Though I still like other devices, obviously. But affordable headphones with interesting designs and things like that. Like the ear clips, so far I'm liking them a lot. They feel good against the ear. I really like it. As soon as I saw it, I already knew that this was going to be my go-to, especially since I don't want anything directly in my ear anymore. And it's nice to be able to have a headset that I can still hear everything around me, because I'm on a scooter on a regular basis going to and from work and things like that, and I need to make sure that I'm always aware of my surroundings. As a matter of fact, I don't even plan on taking these out of my ear when I'm at work, if we're being honest here. But anyway, I think that's enough for the sound section. Let's go over to the next part. So I already have the headphones in my ear, in case you're wondering, and I'm going to press play now. The first song is Warzone. This is actually something from YouTube Free Music. I don't know if they still offer it, but it should be inside the YouTube Studio app if you're using a PC or a MacBook or something, and you're able to actually use music for your background, for your opening, things like that. Stuff that's not going to get copyrighted. Anyway, with that being said, let's play Warzone. It's very clear. The violins sound very good. I like it so far. Turn it up. Okay. Now I want to do something for you guys. Remember, this has different types of audio like bass. and surround 3D sounds. Let me try it. Okay, so if you switch it over to bass, what happens is that all the vocals, not vocals, but the instruments in the background are lowered, the overall volume, and the bass excels a lot more. I apologize if I'm talking loud. I can barely hear myself. Let me go back to signature sound. Okay, this sounds much more rich, and at maximum volume is extremely clear. I will say be careful of that because it could hurt your ears, but so far there's no breakage, there's nothing. Like, it sounds phenomenal, for being honest. And let me try 3D sound. 3D sound's okay. 3D sound, in my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of that. To be honest with you, let me get the 3D sound out of the way before I do the regular ones. 3D sound feels like the instruments kind of take a, it feels like you're in a symphony hall, if that makes sense. Like, you know how if you speak out loud, this might be a better example, and you can hear an echo? That's kind of how the 3D sound feels. So when I turn my head and stuff, it feels like softer music, though it doesn't have the oomph that the traditional Soundcore settings normally has with your signature sound. As for the bass, the music got lower, because normally when you do bass boost, even with Apple devices or Samsung, the music tends to suffer just a little bit in terms of maximum volume, and the bass is a lot stronger. And so far, like, you can actually, like, the quality of bass I'm getting out of this sounds like something that you would get if you had a rubber tip directly in your ear. They did a phenomenal job of getting the quality of music that I expect out of something that clips on the ear. I am very excited about that. And like I said before, even though this product was sent to me, I'm very passionate about my music. I may not know all the codecs and different things that you can use when it comes to high definition and things like that, but when you put something in your ear, you want to make sure that it works. Now, there is a downside to this. When I had it on maximum volume, I will say that my ears were hurting just a little bit, the drums. No music should really be at maximum volume. And the only time you use maximum is if you're outside in the street, you're riding, there's a bunch of cars honking, people yelling, things like that. Because all that noise is around you and you turn the volume up, it's easier for your ears to adjust to it. But in a more quiet setting, I highly doubt you need to play this at 100%. I would say about 50% is perfectly fine. When I first started playing this, about this volume right here, let me just press play to just verify. It's still loud. It sounds very rich. And as a matter of fact, I can still hear my fingers doing this, the rubbing. I can hear everything around me, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Though what I will say is, if you have conversations around you, you're probably going to have to bring this down to 30 to 20% to make sure that you can have a full-blown conversation with someone else. It still was hard for me to focus listening to the air conditioner and other things in the background, because it does do a pretty good job of drowning out noise around you. It's just that, again, if you're looking for earbuds, stick to earbuds. This doesn't have active noise cancellation. It's not meant to drown out everything around you. And louder noise, construction, and things like that, the headphones might get a little overpowered. You'll still be able to hear the music just fine based on the placement of the ears, but just understand that you might feel like you're being interrupted and you can't be fully immersed in the music. But that's the whole purpose of the clip, to make sure you can stay around your surroundings. But if you're by yourself in an empty room, quiet room, someone's talking in the background on the phone, you can just turn up the volume and you can actually tone them out. It sounds pretty good so far. Now, I do want to try another song. It's called Fire and Ice. This one actually has vocals, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same sound test with the three vocal settings, not vocal settings, but the three signature sound settings to see how it sounds in real time. Here we go. Very clear audio. The piano, the bass, the drums. It sounds very good, man. Not gonna lie to you. These are my fan favorites now. The ice and fire. It's very clear, very crystal clear. All right, let me go ahead and switch the sound profile to bass. Oops, here we go. Bass feels a little cloudy in my opinion. I'll explain it to you guys in a second. Let's do 3D sound. Not a fan of 3D sound. Okay. So like I said before, I am not a fan of 3D sound at all. It kind of makes the vocals, you know how you watch a YouTube video and if you don't use, let me explain it. If you do YouTube and you do a reaction video, a lot of times if you don't have a headset on or your microphone is too close, it's going to echo and sound like you're watching a video twice at the same time, and one is a little delayed. That's how the 3D sounds when it comes to vocals. It feels like there's an echo to the person's voice. So while they're singing, it's like it's just, I guess I already explained it. It's this annoying echo that I just don't like. 3D sound is not for me. I think it's for a particular type of air. I'm not even going to jump into it any further than that. 3D sound, I don't like it. But when it comes to the regular Soundcore signature, sounds perfectly fine. Like I said before, at higher volumes, the music doesn't suffer. It doesn't break. I don't have an issue with it whatsoever. I haven't tried, it doesn't have a gaming mode or anything like that, but I am going to try this on a Steam Deck in a second, but let me just finish the critique. Now, when it comes to the bass, everything it didn't sound muffled necessarily, but it felt like everything took a second dive to the bass. Like the quality of the music definitely dropped a few octaves. It felt like a little grainy, kind of. Like, you know how you kind of play a video game and you see the grain in the background, you have the option to turn it off to keep it sharp. It's like a feature that isn't necessarily needed. I don't really care. I like the extra bass, but I don't like how grainy it is and how the other instruments in the song suffer. So for the person out there, to be honest with you, I think that Soundcore signature, the regular one that comes with it, sounds substantially better than the other profiles, and I'm just going to leave it as is. I do want to also preference this by saying that I also use power amp, so I can change bass without making the sound suffer if I use a separate equalizer outside of what Soundcore offers. Remember, some music, whether you're on a PC, whether you're on a Steam Deck, whether you're on a Switch, whatever it is, an iPhone, they have their own equalizer. So my suggestion is just to play with the sound and see how good it is to your liking, because they're your primary buds. As long as you're not sharing it with anybody else and you're not changing your settings, I just say, just see what works for you. But personally, I like the Soundcore setting the best, the regular one, the default. I don't have any issues. I already knew that this was going to happen. Since I've been doing Soundcore headphones in general, I just noticed that they just sound really, really, really good. The sound never suffers with their product. If anything, it gets better based on the price tag or tier of quality of music that you want. But even the lowest tier just sounds really, really good. Like the Life Note E's, the Life Note C's, which are to me entry level, they sound great. These sound good too. And like I said before, trust me, when you see me in future videos, these clips will be on my ear because I love the way they sound so far. So with that being said, I think that anyone that's interested in the quality of the music is definitely going to like it. But I have to stress that if you're used to earbuds and you're used to toning out people all around you, this is not going to do that outside. It's not meant for that. So don't try to compare it to AirPods and other products, because they are in an entirely different class of their own, though the 12 millimeter drivers really do it justice, and the quality is great. I can't complain about that whatsoever. So right here I have the Steam Deck, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and tap connect because it's not connected right now. Go ahead and connect it. See what happens. See if it allows me to, first off. Because remember, it does have multipoint, but it is not connecting at the moment. Let me see if I can switch it over and see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and go to the... Did it work? Oh, it finally worked. It finally registered. After I tapped it, it just took like maybe 5 or 6 seconds or so, but it finally connected. Now it's paired. Now, you may be wondering what I'm playing. I'm going to go ahead and just play Dead Space a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to test the latency mode of how well it sounds. So for anyone that's played Dead Space, the door that's slamming, every time it slams, the sound is perfect. There is no lag whatsoever with the sound. If I shoot, sounds perfect. And what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm actually going to get into some fights so I can hear how well it sounds when I actually fight monsters, because that's what really matters. Ooh, the lag is insane on this. Let me go ahead and try to put this down to 30 frame rates. See if that makes a difference. Let me see. Here we go. All right. Then let's try it. Yeah, that runs better now. All right. I did notice a slight delay. Oh, buddy, calm down. Yeah, there's a delay. There's definitely a delay. Yeah, there's a delay. Okay. I wanted to play something that has a lot of noise so we could figure out how it sounds. Okay. Alrighty, so let me just kind of give you an update on how it sounds with games. Because this doesn't have a gaming latency mode, maybe Dead Space is too big of a game to play. I'm not too sure, but I figure a high-end AAA title is the best way to test this. As I'm shooting the gun with other monsters yelling and screaming and things like that, I did notice a slight delay when it came to the actual shooting. The music wasn't delayed. The monster scream was slightly delayed. When I shot the gun, it's more like an explosion of air or whatever hits the monster. It's supposed to be, instant. But instead, when the monster flew backwards, it kind of connected like a millisecond later. So for the person there that's playing, let's say, Call of Duty or something, I wouldn't suggest these for that game, but I will suggest it for just everyday usage, podcasting, and things like that. I'm not sure if there's any setting or update that will fix this problem, but I don't really see it as being a huge major thing. Either way, like I said, I'm going to stick to these buds. They sound good. I like them. They look good. They feel good. It is what it is. Let's go on to the next section. So guys, this is how it looks inside my ear right now. I know when you look at the instructions or you look online, people are wearing them differently, but for me personally, they don't exactly stay, well, they do stay up here like so. They're actually supposed to sit up here. Personally, I like the way they sit down here a little bit better for me. Really adjust it to your ear shape. Of course, follow the instructions, do sound tests, and make sure that they sound fine. I do want to also preference this by saying that these things are extremely comfortable. I haven't had any ear aches. I've had them in only for about 2 hours. Because remember, this review has to be put out in a certain amount of time. Awesome. But I will come back and revisit how I feel about them in about a week or two for the people that are interested in my update. So far, they feel great. I've played music on them. I've used the Steam Deck. I have tried multiple games on the Steam Deck just to see, over time, will I feel ear fatigue? And so far, I haven't. I haven't had any soreness or anything unless I play it at too high of an octave. And to be honest, that's with any headset. So here is the right one. I'm going to go ahead and just pop it on the ear like so. You start up here. Then you just slide it on down and just fit it where it is right here. And it shouldn't move. Now, if you want to keep it up here, you can put on these little plastic pieces. They have large and small that come inside of the actual case that I showed you earlier in this video. I personally don't use it, and sometimes I just slide it down like so, and they just stay exactly where they are. I don't have any issues whatsoever. So for the person that's wearing hats, you'll be fine. For the woman that has big hair, you can actually hide your headset at work, and it should work out for you. For a person that wears glasses like me, I wear Bluetooth glasses and I switch around. It's nice having something that doesn't necessarily hook around the ear. These feel good and fit well for me. I don't have an issue whatsoever. So again, for the person out there that is a little skeptical about this, I do think that they'll probably fit multiple size ears. I actually put them on my wife. And for anyone that isn't aware of this, she normally uses the X Sport 10s, but she kind of broke those, left them in the washing machine, needless to say. And I plan on getting her another pair. But so far, she says she liked these. Now, some people prefer active noise cancellation and transparency mode and all that stuff. I can live without that because I'm constantly traveling on a bike to and from work, a bike or a scooter or whatever I choose to use depending on how I feel. I need to be aware of what's happening around me. Plus, this has good enough sound where it drowns out a lot of the sound outside. Though, again, it doesn't beat a pair of earphones that go directly into the ear if that's what you're looking to isolate yourself. But this is a close second. Either way, for what it does, it is a phenomenal headset so far. I don't have any complaints whatsoever. So to answer your question, if they're worth the asking price, I'm going to be completely honest with you. So far, I like them a lot. Now, I've said this before in many reviews that I normally suggest things that I use for a certain amount of time. Now, granted, I haven't had that much time outside of a couple hours with these, but the sound profile, the quality build of the case, it reminds me of the Galaxy Bud case, the way they did this. I don't have an issue with it whatsoever. And like I said before, I am going to do an update on this headset, but so far we have IPX4 for the person that skipped to this section, IPX4, 10 hours of battery life, you have multi-point, you have all the features that you want. Now, the reason they're probably $70, for being honest here, is because they're a clip. I think that the clip is a genius idea. I understand that other companies have done this prior, but I haven't had clip earphones before. And to be honest with you, for $70, what are you going to find that's going to have the quality of sound in terms of audio and things like that? This is reasonably priced. 9 times out of 10, during Black Friday sales and stuff like that, this will probably drop down to about $50 or $60 on sale, give you a little $10, $20 discount or something like that. but for the person out there that wants to buy them now, I highly suggest them. And I also want to preface this video by saying that they actually have a black pair where you can see it's like clear black and gray, where you can see the inner works of the headset. That's the one that I wanted. But because this was sent to me and I was asked to review it, I can't complain. I'm going to use the white ones. If I do get another pair, it's going to be for the wife, or I'll give her this one and I'll use the black pair when I finally find one. I do like that color better. It blends in a lot better, especially if you're at work at a job where you're not supposed to be on a headset. It blends in. But let's not forget, I do have Bluetooth headphones for glasses, so either way, I'm covered. Now, again, $70 price tag, not bad at all. I have the link in the description for anyone that's interested. What I suggest also is to look at other reviews to see, so you can get a mixed reaction of how people find about it. How people feel about the product. Don't just take my word for it. Granted, I'm a fan of these, but you should look at other people and see how they feel, because they may bring up another point that I didn't in this particular video that will help you make a decision, because it is your money that you're spending. So here we are. Anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. Till then, take care, be safe, peace.